Do you ever find yourself looking at other people's backpacking gear loadouts and just like really questioning certain pieces of gear? Now, I want to start out saying that we are just having fun in this video. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, and I'm not trying to insult anybody if you use any of the gear that we're going to talk about. And like I said, we're just having a little bit of fun here. So without further ado, let's talk about some backpacking gear that I have absolutely no idea why people use. Starting with number one, we are going to talk about a very popular budget backpack, borderline ultralight pack, the Granite Gear Crown 2 60-liter pack. I have worn one, I have tried one on. I do have a little bit of experience with this pack. I don't own one. I haven't done extended backpacking trips with one. But, you know, just in seeing one and trying one on, the pack that I threw on had about 35 pounds in it. And, you know, with the hip belt adjusted and everything, it actually carried the weight fairly well. You know, the back panel was sufficient to support that weight and transfer down to your hips. My big gripe with the Crown backpack is honestly the look of it. I know that being out backpacking, you know, it's not a fashion show when we are out there. To me, it almost looks like you're trying to combine like an ultralight backpacking pack and like almost, in some ways to me, it looks too much like a military pack. Honestly, it is like the ugliest modern day backpacking backpack. Call me petty if you want to, but yeah, it's a hideous pack, and I can't stand it. As we dive into number two, we are not going to get quite as petty. This one is actually just for function, ease of use, you know, weight savings, packability, and we're going to talk water filters a little bit. My go-to filter, the Katadyn Be-Free, one of the easiest water filtering systems out there to use. Fill it up, pop this little cap off, give it a squeeze. That's how you filter water and get filtered water all over your basement floor. Awesome. When it's full, it kind of feels like a booby. Awesome. But this video is not about ranting and raving about the Katadyn Be-Free. We are talking backpacking gear that I have no clue why people use, and that is pump style water filters. I previously have owned a couple different pump style filters. I had a Katadyn one and I had an MSR one. And while they do work and they are effective, there's a lot of issues that I have with the pump style water filters. They're heavier, they're bulkier. The operation of them is kind of a pain. You know, you have to sit at your water source and you sit there and you just pump. You just do this, you know, you can't really scoop water up and carry it off to camp and then pump it. I mean, I guess you could if you want to carry it in bottles, but that's just adding a lot more to it. I mean, it's already a bulky package as it is. There's a lot of moving parts on these things. There's a lot of gaskets and O-rings, and you know, there's valves and there's levers and pins and whatnot. There's a lot of parts on these that can fail. You know, there's yearly maintenance you have to do on these things. You know, you buy yearly maintenance kits to replace O-rings and gaskets, and they can be a pretty expensive unit if you're having one year after year after year. And like I said, they're just, you know, it's a pain in the ass to sit there at a creek or a lake or whatever, and you're getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, and you're just sitting there pumping water. Yeah, they suck. And number three is a backpacking favorite, and that's Darn Tough socks. Now, we are specifically talking Darn Tough socks in the summertime. Since making the transition to trail runners and just, you know, blasting through creeks and not carrying any water crossing shoes, I found that while I was using the Darn Tough socks, my feet took quite a while to dry out. I found that that's when I tend to deal with blisters, is if my feet are wet for an extended period of time. It's just, you know, one of those things that's gonna happen. So with the synthetic blend socks, I find they dry out a lot faster than the merino wool socks, you know, like the Darn Toughs and the Smart Wools. So I have switched away from using those in the summertime. Yes, I guess you lose that little antimicrobial benefit of the merino socks. You know, they say that your feet aren't going to smell as bad, and it kind of helps eliminate odors, but I will take stinky feet any day as long as my feet are dry. That's all I care about. Yeah, number four, we're talking about bear bells. Anytime I ever come across somebody hiking and, you know, you hear that little jingle of bear bells as you pass by them, the very first thought that comes to my head is, wow, you just wasted $3 and all you've achieved is annoying yourself all day. Simply put, bear bells are not effective at warning bears of your presence. They're just simply not loud enough. Bear bells suck. Don't buy them. Number five is one that people suggest to me all the time that I need to buy, and that is a camp chair. And no, we're not talking, you know, the little foldable seats. You know, this is my Thermara Z seat that I use all the time, and I will carry this over a camp chair. When I say camp chairs, you know, we're talking like the Helinox chairs and, you know, all those little other brand of little mini, you know, portable folding chairs. You know, they're all the rave right now. Everybody says you have to have one. And for me, they just do not work. You know, I've tried them out on backpacking trips. You know, my good buddy Justin loves his Helinox chair. He carries it with him all the time. Bulk factor, the Z seat is, you know, roughly about the same size, but this thing weighs mere ounces, where, you know, these chairs are like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. The big thing that I hear people say about these camp chairs all the time is you get a really comfortable elevated seat. And you say elevated, it's like you're 3 inches off the ground. If you guys enjoyed this video, I've got another video I did on backpacking gear that I have absolutely no interest in ever trying on using, and I'll fire that right here for you guys. I think you guys will really like that. And as always, I am Matty. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.